Howdy everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of the J76 Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Jimmy Wild, and this week we have lots and lots of gaming news to get into, so I'm going to keep the intro short and we'll dive right in. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe, you know the drill, for more videos, blah blah blah. Also, as always, timestamps will be available in the description, so feel free to jump around, but let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, let's go ahead and get going with, we're going to start off with the gaming news. I have a little bit of hardware, a little bit of console news, but mostly it's all game updates, so we'll get this rolling. So I think the big deal was, well, what should have been the big deal was the State of Play from Sony. And really, it wasn't that groundbreaking. I mean, I guess I don't know what I was expecting, but it had some cool stuff, but I was like, is that it, really? But yeah, so let's go ahead and go through here. You can take a look at this if you're interested in more, but I'll kind of give the highlights. So the big thing for me, I think, was the well, there's two big things, but the big thing for me was the Kena Bridge of Spirits finally has a release date, and it's not anytime soon. So it was originally targeted for Q1 of 2021. It got moved, it looks like, till August. Is there an actual date on there? August 24th. So close to my birthday, so that's kind of nice. Also, it's nice because it's a $40 game. So it's $39.99 for the base game and $49.99 for the deluxe. I mean, it's kind of nice. I mean, I think it's nice to have like another, like an alternative to like the 100-hour sandboxes and the online, they're like the live service games that are just like microtransaction playground. But it's kind of nice. So I'm liking that. What else we got? Boom. Now, Crash Bandicoot, and actually the next two games I don't really care about other than they have PS5 versions coming. So, Crash Bandicoot is already out, I believe, but I don't play it, so, but it does have a PS5 version coming on March 12th, so that's kind of nice. Oops, I guess I should have scrolled this up. I don't know why I scrolled down, but anyways. So Crash Bandicoot 4, March 12th. Then we have Oddworld. Get out of here. Oddworld is coming in June. Oh wait, no. I messed that up. It was announced in June. April 6th is the PlayStation 5 version. That's what I meant to say. But, yeah, so that's pretty cool. Like I said, it's nice to see some actual PS5 versions of games out there in the wild, or at least coming soon. Boom. So I think this is probably the big deal, or wanted to be the big deal of State of Play. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Any news on the sequel? Nope. But we do get a DLC, so that's kind of nice. And the PS5 upgrade is free, as it should be. If you have, let's see, where's my notes? If you have the PlayStation 4 version, the PS5 version is free. Okay, duh. The DLC is only available on PlayStation 5. So, okay, well that kind of stinks, but whatever. So if you don't own the game, the full version, including the DLC, is $70. And if you do own, if you do own the base game, then the DLC is some smaller number. I don't think that's announced yet. I didn't see it listed anywhere. So yeah, and that's coming in June 10th, it looks like. All right, so that's pretty much it for State of Play. I was digging to find something interesting other than Final Fantasy VII and Kena. So in remaster news, we have Legend of Mana Remaster. And that's coming out on June 24th, and that's on Switch, PlayStation 4, and I assume 5, and Steam. I mean, there's not much more to talk about this. It's just, I love remasters of these old games. So, and this was one of those games, actually, come to think of it, a long time ago, my buddy gave me, for my birthday, the game hint book for Legend of Mana. And I was like, I don't know the game. I never played it. But he did give me the book because I love collecting books, like game books and like guides and stuff like that. So that was a really cool gift. But yeah, maybe I'll be able to put it to good use coming up in, what did I say, June? Yeah, June 24th. All right, after that, we got, if you're into this type of stuff, we got Hot Wheels Unleashed has been announced. And looks like we have September 30th for a release date. This is all platforms. I think kind of the big deal. This feels like a Switch game to me, for sure. I'm like, I can't imagine, sitting down at the PC and be like, all right, time to play some Hot Wheels. But I mean, I could be wrong. But this definitely feels like a Switch in handheld mode. But yeah, that's coming up September 30th. Let's see. Next up, now this is all, this is all rumor stuff, but Starfield is in the news kind of again. So apparently there's a new rumor that the next Bethesda game that should be coming out before Elder Scrolls 6 is Starfield. And like, we haven't heard a ton on it, but we do have a rumor that it's supposed to be released, well, let's say the executives wanted to target it for 2021. So that seems quick, because after the last updates that we had, they're like, hey, don't count on this for a million years. It's coming, but don't get your hopes up. And then now we have this maybe 2021. And you can kind of put, I don't know, you can take rumors however you want to take them. But I did find it interesting that also, along with this rumor, and well, I shouldn't even say along with this rumor, because it's not related as far as I can tell to the rumor, PC Gamer did a, hey, what's everything we know about Bethesda's Starfield game? And that was a few days ago. So I'm like, that's interesting. So, I don't know. Maybe there was something at play here. They're like, don't forget to talk about Starfield, kind of thing coming out of Bethesda's camp. But who knows? All right. What else we got? Boom. We have, God, I scrolled down all the way. Star Wars Republic Commando is being remastered and coming out on PlayStation 4 and 5 and Nintendo Switch on April 6th. So this is something that I don't remember playing. I might have. I feel like if it's a Star Wars game from like 15, 20 years ago, I probably played it. When did this come out? I can't remember. I won't be able to find it when it originally came out, but I feel like it was 2000. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But anyways, I might have played it. Maybe not. But according to this little article here, some people like to claim this as one of the best Star Wars games. So, hey man, I'll give it a shot. And let's see, did we get a release date on this? I forget. Where's my notes? Notes. Yes, April 6th. So that's kind of cool. And now this game I know I didn't play. And I actually bought it on GOG because I was going to play it. And I never got to it, which is probably a good thing because there's a System Shock remake coming. And this is like one of those things that's been in, I think it was, Kickstarter original, and it funded for way over what it asked for, which is awesome. And then the news that really comes out today is that we have a demo. So I just downloaded the demo today. So hopefully I can get some time in on that because, like I said, I never played this, but I want to. So yeah, I was thinking about this today too. I love remastered games because I don't know. Because I haven't found too many new games. I think this is why. I haven't found too many new games that just like blow my socks off. But I still have all of those memories in my head from games way back in the day. So it's nice to see them coming back. Now, like I said, I haven't played this, but it's a remaster, so I'm kind of going to check it out. But anyway, I'll stop rambling about that. So yeah, that's the game news. Let's head into the console news next. Okay, so for not hardware news, console news. Let's start off with Nintendo. We got Nintendo news in hardware section. What's going on here? And no, it's not Nintendo Switch Pro, which I have been reading a little bit more about, but I don't think we have really much to think about yet. But anyway, so Nintendo 3DS turned 10 years old on February 26th. So 10 years. I remember I bought my first 3DS. I pre-ordered picked it up at GameStop, waited in line in the morning to pick it up. And yeah, I was immediately blown away because I really thought the 3D was something else. And I remember too, like you would play it in public and people were like, what's that? Oh my God, what is that? And then they would look at it and look all fuzzy, and I'd be like, here, you look at it. And then they would look at it and see the 3D and go, what is happening? So that was cool. And it was interesting too because I'm grateful that I didn't have any of the headaches. So apparently some people would look at the screen in 3D and it would like give them headaches or I don't know, something like that. But anyways, it was perfectly fine for me and I loved it. So what's Nintendo doing to celebrate 10 years? Wah wah. They're immediately canceling support. Let's see. Actually, I wrote it down so I don't have to read it. They're stopping production, canceling support, and closing the eShop. Congratulations on 10 years. You're done. Yeah. So I think it's interesting. Well, I mean, I don't care. We don't need a 3DS anymore. We got a Switch. That's what everyone wants. But I did think it was interesting that the Nintendo Switch has already sold more consoles than the 3DS and the Wii U combined, and also outsold them on games. So that's pretty impressive. So no wonder we're sticking with just the Switch here. But anyways, it was nice to have Nintendo in the news for a little bit until they dropped the bomb. So PlayStation, not much on PlayStation here. Just a quick headline. Looks like PlayStation 5 is going to get its own VR headset, according to PlayStation CEO. Other than that, there's no major news. I think they said, yeah, the dev kits for the PS5 VR headset are going out, and then don't expect any news for a long time. So, I mean, probably not till next year before we hear anything more. But anyway, and then also in the same article, it explains how hard it is to get a PS5. Yeah, no kidding, we know. All right, so that's actually it for console news. So let's go ahead and get set up for hardware news. All right, for the hardware news, where's my mouse? There it is. We have AMD. All right, so we have the 6800, 6900 from AMD, and we have the lower mid-range, probably mid-range model, 6700 XT coming soon. Spoilers, it's going to be hard to get. The only other, I mean, the only other real news is that it's about time because, I mean, we needed something to go alongside the 3060 and the 3060 Ti from Nvidia. But, I mean, I'm not going to get too much into it. Like, it'll probably be out, let's see what I write, end of March. So we should start seeing more info coming in the next week or so, or maybe 2 weeks. But anyway, look forward to that. And I mean, that was just a quick AMD update. Let's jump into more of the meat of the hardware section when we got Nvidia. So Nvidia has a 3060 out. Guess what? Can't get it. I mean, obviously we can't get it. And it's on eBay. So this is a $330 card that's $1,000 on eBay already. So super. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, that's all I really want to say about that. Obvious headline is obvious. You can't get it. It's selling for ridiculous prices on eBay. But anyway, so the more interesting stuff, I think, is the 3060 is coming with 12 gig of RAM, which is ridiculous, because there's no need, and like, it's just marketing, so don't fall for it. I mean, if you want a 3060 in your budget, or if you want a video card and your budget is $330, then maybe the 3060 is just what you need. But if you're like, well, the 3060 has 12 gig of RAM and that's really important to me, it's not important to you. It's really not important to you. It's really not going to come into play until you start pushing 4K resolution on like high or ultra, probably ultra graphic settings. And even then, most games don't need it. So top of mind, Godfall is the only PC game that I know of that needs more than 10 gig of RAM at 4K ultra. So, and 10 gig is the important delimiter, the important point for, because that's what the 3080 has. And the 3080, if you're pushing 4K gaming, the 3080 is really where you want to be. Now the 3090 is in its own league and whatever, but don't worry about that. But yeah, so 3060, if you want it, sweet, no problem. But don't buy it because it's got 12 gig of RAM. You don't need it. Boom. All right, so this one's kind of interesting. So a while back we had AMD talking about the smart access memory and its performance gains and blah blah blah, whatever. So Nvidia is now working on has been working on their own version of this, and it's coming soon. So it's actually, what's it called? BAR resizing. Yeah, resizable BAR is what it's called. Such a cool name. Not as cool as Sam, that's for sure. But anyway, it's going to first roll out in the 3060s, and then the rest of the lineup in late March. It's going to require, it'll probably require either a motherboard BIOS update or at least chipset drivers. Probably just chipset drivers and firmware, I would assume, on, NVIDIA drivers also. But excuse me, I said two different things there. Not firmware for the GPU, probably just drivers, I would assume. But anyway, there's some games listed in here. Now, the only one that stands out to me, as in, hey, maybe this will be helpful, is Borderlands 3, because Borderlands 3 is not amazing to run. It seems not very well optimized. But anyway, it'd be interesting to see what happens. Like 10% is kind of a big deal, but it'll be game dependent, it'll be system dependent, and blah blah blah, whatever. So if you can somehow manage to pick up 5 FPS, that might make the difference of getting you above 60 FPS consistently, or whatever breakpoint you're trying to get to. So we'll see. And if it's free, well, I mean, it's free because it'll be software, so we'll see. All right, so that is the Nvidia section. So let's get into Intel. Boom. All right. You can tell we're getting close to launch here because we got lots of information coming on the 11th gen Rocket Lake CPUs, and I'm pretty sure in last episode I called them 12th gen because I am a moron. But anyway, so we got more benchmarking leaking out, and I won't get too much into like leaked benchmarks. We'll just say that it looks like potentially Intel is going to steal the single-threaded performance crown again. And I don't really care what it looks like in benchmarks. I want to see what it looks like in gaming. But, I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter that much because the 5000 series from AMD, like top to bottom, are amazing CPUs. And these, if they perform anywhere close to that, above or below, are going to be great. So, whatever's in stock would be nice. Oh, and then I also had notes here that just remember though, the 11th gen CPUs are, I say, only 8 cores, up to 8 cores. So if you are really looking for a workstation, maybe 8 cores is enough for you. I mean, my workstation right now is a 6 core because I invest all my money in game machines instead of workstations. But I mean, AMD is still going to hold the workstation crown because it's going to have a 4 to 8 core advantage over the flagship 11900K at 8 cores. So anyway, moving on. Excuse me. So we got this report that pre-orders could go live early, like ahead of, let's see, what does they say? March 16th, ahead of the March 30th date. And the speculation here to take advantage of AMD not being able to ship enough CPUs. So who knows? Like I said, man, I hope these are good. I don't want AMD to not perform and not sell, but I don't want that of Intel either. So if they can get chips out, there's plenty of us looking to buy chips. So bring it, get them out there. Let's see them. Hopefully they're good. So start looking on March 16th, or maybe in the next week or two, we'll get some more firm dates on that. One more Intel item. So potentially here, we're looking at, so if you don't know, with Rocket Lake, we are getting PCIe 4 support on Intel side. And apparently it's 11% faster. So that's interesting. I mean, this is early, of course, but we'll see what happens. This is on the Samsung 980 Pros, which is interesting to me because that's what I'm running. But still, like, let's grain of salt this for 2 reasons. One, it's early. We'll see what it actually looks like. And 2, it doesn't matter. I hate to admit it. Like, as I paid, I paid for the launch day prices on the 980 Pros. So I paid the premium for the new tech, and it doesn't matter. Like, you can't see the difference in gaming. So if you're building a game machine, whatever. If you're building some sort of storage array or device, like server or something like that, maybe this matters to you. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, but why would you be doing that with 980 Pros? Or yeah, because I think they cap at 1 terabyte anyway. But whatever. Now I'm just rambling. So we will go ahead and move on. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up today's episode with some more game updates. So this is like game news part 2, I guess, but it's all focused on updates and demos, or stuff like that. So first up, Godfall, and I actually missed this last week in the in the game updates section. So Godfall has the Primal update that's out, and it's kind of sweet, actually. I like Godfall. I think it's a fun game, but it was one of those games that at launch it was like, that's it. That's what we get. But we got some more in there. So let's kind of go. I don't know. If you haven't played Godfall, this might not make a lot of sense, but I'll try to relate it to you. But if you have played Godfall and you're not playing the Primal update, you should get in there and do it. So what do we got? We got Ascension levels. So these are, I don't know, these are like post level cap levels. Think of it like in Borderlands, you got your badass ranks, or, in like Division, you get like a loot cache every level, or like shade tech levels or stuff like that. Anything like that. But anyways, it's XP gained post level cap. You get like these points that you can allocate into different stats. So kind of nice. Primal items are like, they have like a higher tier of loot, which is okay, I guess. I mean, everyone likes more power. And then we have Tower of Trials and Dreamstones have been updated and fiddled with a bit. So that's pretty cool. I did like the Dreamstones has loot targeting, improved loot targeting, which is nice. And the Tower of Trials was actually, I thought, pretty boring. It was a cool idea, but it was pretty boring. It was boring and unrewarding. Let's put it that way. But should be interesting now. And then we get a shopkeeper, which, whatever. And more quality of life. Quality of life is good. I like it. So anyways, Godfall, check it out. Next. Okay. Now this one. Oh man, this is my news. This is it right here. This is the update that I didn't know I needed. And now that it's here, I can't believe it. But anyway, Diablo 3. Yes, they're still doing stuff with Diablo 3. So there is a new update coming for Season 23. I'm trying to get down. We have the follower system revamp. So for those of you that have not played Diablo 3 or haven't played Diablo 3 in a minute, you have followers in the game, and they're just NPCs. They hang out with you. You can gear them up a little bit. Like you can put a weapon, an amulet, and 2 rings, and like a token on them, and they can help you out a little bit. They have like 4 skills, they have 8 skills, and you can pick 4 of them to use. Anyways, very limited and arguably not very helpful. But now, holy crap, you can gear them out just like the main character. So you can put a full set of gear on them. Like you can put some boots on, you can put pants on, you can put gloves on. I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, I can't even find the words. I'm so excited for it. I did try it out on the PTR a little bit, and I was like, this is amazing. I can't wait. And I put it down. I was like, I don't want to spoil how excited I am on the PTR. So I'm just going to go ahead and wait for Season 23 to jump in. I was so excited for this that I started Diablo's Season 22, even though it's the last weekend. So I started that, I think, Thursday night, and I've just been jamming on that for the whole time. But anyways, another cool thing is not only can you make your followers actually useful, they have this new ability called Emanate. So some of the legendary affixes on gear, like for example, let's pick one of my favorites. Where's that? There it is. Nemesis bracers. So Nemesis bracers is always a gear slot that you want to equip because it has a really cool ability, but it just comes at the disadvantage of what you really want to put in your build. But what this does, once again, for those of you who don't know, when you click on a shrine or a pylon, it spawns an elite pack, which is helpful for your greater rifts or for your normal rifts or like your death breath farming or whatever you're doing. But you always have to choose between, do I want the Nemesis bracers or do I want the like what am I using now? Ashengard's blood bracers, whatever. I always have to choose, and I hate choosing because I want the shrines. So anyway, now you can equip them on your follower, and that ability will come across. Oh boy, big stuff. Once again, another thing, Avarice Band. So you get if you're in your speed farming runs, I love the, I can imagine you got gold skin, Nemesis bracers, Avarice Band. You throw a gold wrap on yourself, run around, and Boon of the Hoarder. I mean, you can basically speed farm in your like GR push build. So I love it. I could talk all day about this, so I will shut up, but very, very excited. Okay. Then kind of in the bummer news, we'll move on to Cyberpunk 2077, which is a game that I need to get back to, which I will probably get back to when this patch pops. But, so this was on Twitter. After the recent cyber attack, patch 1.2 is delayed. So, I guess, it stinks, but it's fine. We'll get the patch. It'll be fine. What kind of drives me crazy, though, is like the people just talking mess on Twitter. It is the internet. People are going to be jerks, but Cyberpunk is not a terrible game. Maybe some of you had bad experiences on the PlayStation 4, and that stinks. I really, really do feel for you, but it's not a terrible game. And hopefully the patch helps, and hopefully that everyone will give it another shot as they improve it. But yeah, so let's move from bummer news to even more bummer news. Anthem update. So I've talked a lot of trash about Anthem because I was so disappointed in the game. I never wanted it to fail. Like, I wanted it to be good. I was overhyped, let's say it that way. There's no other way to say it. I was way overhyped. I took time off work. I bought, was it Origin Access was what it was called? So that I got it to launch on the PC a week ahead of time so I could play it there before I played on PlayStation, blah, blah, blah. So I bought 2 copies of the game, PlayStation and PC, and I bought the early access with EA Origin. So I ended up spending like close to $300 on, because I got 2 Dawn of, what was it called? Dawn of, I don't know, whatever, the Dawn edition. So like almost $300 I spent on this game. And it's garbage. Like, it's fun enough. This is the way I say it. It's fun enough. Like, the gameplay is fun enough. It needs work, definitely. But it's ultimately more frustrating to play than fun, I think, for me. Now, some people love it, whatever. But anyways, I was really hoping and just really praying for a No Man's Sky situation. Like, they're going to take a year, and then they're going to drop this big old Anthem Next patch, and it's going to be good. Wah, wah. No, they're not. So they went ahead and canceled all the new dev work on this, which actually shouldn't be a surprise because, they did the same thing with Mass Effect Andromeda. They're like, peace, we're done. Thanks for all the money, we're done. So, yeah. Like I said, I don't want the game to fail. And even if I didn't pay all this money for the game, I don't want the game to fail. I was really looking forward to it, but so apparently they're going to focus on upcoming games for like Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So maybe we'll get something. Maybe the extra attention will be noticeable in those games. Now, I suspect or I hope, or maybe a little bit of both, but I suspect that we're going to see everything from Anthem Next punted to Anthem 2. And I know Anthem 2 is going to be a hard sell. But if they take all of the feedback to heart. I mean, look at Mass Effect Andromeda. Like, I mean, I didn't actually play that game, so I may be speaking out of place here, but it wasn't very well received. And they're still making more Mass Effect games. So it seems very likely that we'll get an Anthem 2. And I really hope that they do, actually, because, you know, we don't have a ton of, like, new IPs coming, like, big, huge new IPs coming to gaming. So I would really, really appreciate it if Anthem 2, or Anthem lives on, let's say it that way. But just in case it doesn't, our last topic is boom, Outriders. Are you feeling sad about Anthem? Well, go play the Outriders demo. So, yes, the demo is out now, and I like it. It was unfortunate because on Thursday when it came out, I was not in a good mood, and I don't know why. Like, everything was perfectly fine. I was just in a crappy mood for some reason. So when I was playing the game, and you know when little things bug you in a game, or little things bug you anywhere, and you're like, whatever, and you just let it go. But when you're in a bad mood, and these little things are bugging you, then it's like the end of the world. So I was kind of throwing like a mini tantrum in my head, and I was like, all right, I got to stop playing this game. But anyways, so Saturday, I picked it back up again, and I had a lot more fun. And also it helps to get a couple levels. You know, those first couple levels of any RPG, when you got all of the gray and white loot with no stats and no abilities on them, and you gotta drop a whole magazine into one bad guy's face just to kill him, and you're like, really? Is this what we're doing? That was kind of the feeling that I had, and I have that in every game. So once you start to see the greens and the blues start to come in, then you're like, oh, now we're getting somewhere. So I had a lot more fun towards the end. But yeah, should be working. Hopefully, we'll be working on a demo review, like my full thoughts on it, and things I'd like to see changed. But yeah, it's worth a shot. It's free. Give it a shot, and all your progression carries over. So definitely do it. And I should point out the crossplay does work. Me and my buddy played. I was on PC. He was on PlayStation. Just send the code over, and bippity boppity boo, you're in the same game. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I think I'm done. I'll stop talking now. I will stop talking, and I am going to go. What am I going to do? I think I'm going to play Outriders. I think I'm going to fire it up. Because you know what I haven't done? I have not played Outriders on my new PC. I want to see it in all of its 4K goodness and on the OLED. Yeah, now we're talking. All right, I'll shut up, and I will see you all later.